Never let go, it got me. But if I did you dirty, you deserve it. I am sorry. Don't ask a million questions, ain't got a million answers. You must think that I trust you. I got issue with more trustees. I love both niggas flexing.
Hello and welcome to France 24's weekly music show. I'm Marjorie Hash. My guest this week is Ethiopian-born Canadian rapper Naya Ali. Her latest album, Godspeed Elevated, which is filled with confident flow and self-aware lyrics, has literally taken the rapper to new heights. She's broken boundaries in Quebec and been awarded a number of prizes, including Anglophone Artist of the Year in 2020 and Black Canadian Music Award of 2021. Her eyes are now set on conquering the world, which has brought her to Paris. Naya Ali, thank you so much for dropping by the France 24 studios.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're actually going to be playing Paris this week, but you're also going to be playing Dijon and then the Les Bars en Trance in Rennes, which is a festival that takes place in parallel to Les Transmusicales de Rennes. What does it feel like to be here?
First time in France, first time in Paris. Feels phenomenal. I'm excited to share my art here and see what's the reaction, what's the vibe. I'm super stoked.
And have you been aware of French hip hop at all, or is that something?
I'm a bit aware. I'm a bit aware of the vibes. It's a phenomenal rap scene here. The culture behind it is super unique. I'm super curious to bring the Canadian English We the North vibe and see what comes out.
And I hear the Canadian hip-hop scene is literally exploding at the minute. It's really burgeoning. Can you describe it a bit to us?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, personally, I feel that, in the States you have the East Side, the East Coast sound, the West Coast sound, the South. I feel like the Canadian addition to that movement is the North. So the North is the final, the final
jigsaw puzzle.
Exactly. Because we have our own distinct sound, our lingo, the way that we speak, the way that we, our expressions, it's different. For Americans too, you can tell that it's different, it's refreshing, and a few of the greatest artists are Canadian too. You got Drake, you got The Weeknd, these Tory Lanez and all that. I'm happy to be part of that and give my take and my addition to that movement for sure.
And you've managed to establish yourself as obviously female artist, but also an English language rapper in Quebec, which is very protective of the French language. Was that a bit of a hindrance at first when you were trying to break out?
I mean, technically, yeah, of course, right? I'm a Black woman doing English music in a predominantly French market, right? But at the same time, it was kind of my superpower. And it is kind of my superpower, right? Because there's no one really like me where I come from with the sound that I have. So, it gave me that unique vibe and that different proposition. So, at first it was okay, it might be a little harder to break open doors because I had no blueprint to follow, right? But at the same time, it just allowed me to stand out even more. So
yeah. Well, how about we check
no regrets.
Excellent. Well, how about we try and check out one of your standout tracks on your latest album?
I wear my heart in this game. These days don't know that I pray. I can't share all my mistakes, My nigga pull up in the truck like it. I ain't this one, that one. Where you at? Go straight up, go straight up. Hold it up, go straight up. This shit in my DNA, let my heart lead the way. Niggas try to lead me astray. I get it. These niggas are scared of the light that I'm giving is gold.
Straight Up, Naya Ali's latest music video. Now, it seems that, throughout your body of work, there's always this theme of movement and pushing forward and looking towards the future. Is that, this forward-thinking way of life, is that something that's completely unique, the way you portray the world or your art?
Yeah. I'm glad you felt that, for sure. I would say it was more just pushing to be the best version of yourself. Just elevating and in all aspects of life and just who you are as a person, right? And that also comes with, its own challenges and, life is just, it's a balance that sometimes you fall off balance, sometimes you catch your balance. So it's just always trying to be mindful of that, you know, that scale, that balance, you know. So just, you know, push forward, but like also, you know, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and just, you know, just ride the wave.
And you were actually born in Ethiopia. You moved to Canada when you were really young.
Yeah.
How much did Ethiopian culture and music like trickle into?
Yeah.
You know, did you grow up with traditional music or storytelling around you?
Yeah, I did. I did actually. My mom used to play a lot of Ethiopian jazz, which is its own distinct sound. Also, Ethiopian like folk spiritual songs. You know, it was like with traditional instruments. In my music, you know, I didn't really want to just be like, I'm Ethiopian and just you know, add like all these sounds or whatever. So it took me a while to like integrate sounds in a more like organic way, in a subtle way, and I did it in my last album. I integrated like Ethiopian jazz samples. I integrated like traditional instruments like the masinko, the krar, samples of like old spirituals my mom used to play and that used to annoy me as a kid. But now I'm just like
embracing it.
I'm just going back, you know. So yeah, I do it in a very subtle way, and it's just like, if you know, you know, you hear the sound cool, but if you don't, it just sounds wavy. Either way.
Yeah, it fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
I also read that you were an Amnesty International ambassador. Can you tell us what that involves and how that came about?
Definitely. It came about really randomly, actually. My brother, I didn't know this, but he used to volunteer for Amnesty, and he knew like the people, the branch in Canada, in French Canada. And he spoke about me as, you know, that's my sister, and like, oh, phenomenal, we'd love to have her as an ambassador. So he just linked that up, and that just sort of happened. So I did the benefit concert for their 60-year anniversary a month ago, and yeah, and it's a cause that I wholeheartedly support. You know, we should all be born free and equal, and we should stand up for any injustice that we see, and because at the end of the day, we're in this together, and no matter how we're evolved as a society, if we don't, if we're not evolved in the sense
together,
of together, and like, if you see people,
we can't improve ourselves if we're not helping each other along the way.
That's what I meant. Exactly.
It's the joy of jet lag, so thank you.
Honestly, I'm just trying to catch my thoughts.
You're doing very well.
It's 6 in the morning for me.
I'll give you a little break. How about we check out some of the new music that's coming out this week? And we're going to start up with an artist who is not releasing 1, but 3 albums this week. Arca, the Venezuelan musician and producer who is also known for working with the likes of Björk, Lady Gaga, Kanye West and Rosalia, and who identifies as non-binary trans Latina woman, is back with more forward-looking electro ultra pop and a mind-bending video to boot. Here's Prada Rakata. Producer and musician Arca there, and now Naya Ali, you've worked with some cool producers in the past. We're looking forward to your next album already. Have you got any producers you'd like to work with in the future?
I have my eyes set on a few producers, definitely.
Any names you can share with us?
I mean, like, I would love to work with Murder on the Beats.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, just, tap into the Canadian
network.
The Canadian network.
And moving out of Canada, is there any place in the world you'd like to go and tour in particular, since you've got your eyes set on world domination?
Oh, I'm glad you see that.
Yeah.
Definitely like the States, Atlanta, New York, West Coast.
Because you're already conquering Paris right now.
Nah, I mean, like, we're in the process of conquering, definitely.
How about we head over now to another fantastic release by Burkinabe artist Kandi Gira, who has worked with the likes of Manu Dibango and Umu Samagare. Her new album is called Nagataba, and the video is amazing. It's got a bit of Paris scenes in big African cities, and her album is infused with electropop and traditional West African rhythms and calls for unity and male and female equality. Let's take a look at one of the tracks. Kandi Gira there. Now that's it for Encore's music show. We're coming to a close. A special thanks to my guest, Naya Ali, whose recent album, Godspeed Elevated, is one that you must definitely check out. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And France 24's latest news bulletin is coming up shortly. But don't forget, you can keep on top of our culture news on France24.com and, of course, social media at Encore F24. We've got just enough time to play out the show with a little bit of French rock and roll by Paris region trio The Howling Jaws, who have just released their first album, Strange Effect. Here's one of the singles. It's called Heartbreaker.
Oh, there's a lady, they say, whose touch is as soft as a breeze, and the wind, they say, is singing her name through the trees. And I met her once a long time ago, and I can tell what they don't know. She's a mean one with a heart of stone. Yeah, listen up, boy, she's a natural born heartbreaker.
France by France 24. From the workshop to the catwalk, follow the latest trends on fashion. From fine dining to architecture and much more, discover uniquely French talents on You Are Here. Straight talking and frank views from residents of France's tough suburbs who film their lives for the Bonheur Project. An in-depth look at political and social events shaping France in France in Focus. A quirky insider's guide to understanding France and the French on French Connections. Every day, watch France by France 24 on France 24 and France24.com.
What does it take to be a national hero? The list of distinguished people in France's rich history is a long one.
Well, there are authors and philosophers, military heroes and resistance, politicians, cutting-edge inventors and scientists, record-breaking athletes, and of course, ordinary, everyday citizens.
So how does the nation pay tribute and respect to its great men and women?
Join us as we investigate France's top honors.
French Connections Plus on France 24 and France24.com.